Welcome to CSGO Talk, where the videos aren't short, the rants aren't sweet, and we almost never get to the point. I'm your host, Chaos, and I'm back this week with Tongue. Tongue, I missed you, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I missed you too, man. Thank you so much for understanding. I had some stuff that came up last week, but I'm so happy to be here again with you.
All right, no problem. So let's dive right into it. We
Dive
got
right
some
in.
CS. This is CSGO Talk, the show, and we've got some CSGO to talk about. So
Mhm.
let's start this off with some Cloud9 rumors. I feel like might as well call this the Cloud9 show because they're pretty much all we talk about these days.
It's all you talk about. If I could have a say in it, it would not be.
Anyways, I know you're in love with Shroud. It's just
Mhm.
he's got a love affair with Shroud, guys. Okay, so we've got some rumors, and hot off the presses here. Hot off the presses, folks. Hot off the Reddits, I should say. About how long ago was this? 6 hours ago, probably 4.
Probably six.
Yeah, at this point, probably 6. Anyways, by the time you guys see it, it'll be like a day later. It doesn't matter. So hot off the Reddit presses. What's his name? Autimatic was not scrimming with TSM this week. And the thing is that there were some rumors flying around on probably Wednesday or Tuesday, and I even tweeted about this, that TSM and Cloud9 were in trade talks, and before we thought Cloud9 was maybe going to pick up Tarek, and Stewie completely denied that, saying that he would donate $50,000 to Mo and never stream again if Tarek joined the team. So I don't think that's going to happen, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you think that Stewie's like saying that to make sure that he doesn't, or you just think that it's just a pipe dream?
No, I think that Stewie's pretty confident because Stewie would not. You don't say that because if Tarek joins, then imagine the uproar, you know. So, anyways,
it's pocket change to Stewie.
Yeah, pocket change. I wouldn't say that. I don't think 50K's pocket change, but yeah. So TSM and C9. So I thought, I was saying this in our video 2 weeks ago now when we were talking about all these roster change rumors. I thought that Twist was the best pickup for C9. But right now it's looking like it could be Autimatic, which would be very, very interesting. I mean, he's a great fragger. I think the difference between him and Twist is that he's older, more experienced than Twist. Twist is like, I think he just turned 17, so he's very, very young, very inexperienced. I mean, you seem to like Autimatic. What do you think about this?
I mean, I've met Autimatic before. He's a good guy, but I'm not super deeply involved in the TSM brand. If I'm gonna put my fanboy jacket on, I'm gonna throw myself behind Team Liquid right now. But between Autimatic and Twist, I think this is right up your alley. You know, what do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of each? And if they were to each join Cloud9, what would be the best impact that each of them would have that the other one didn't?
Well, they're different players, right? So Twist is more of just your mad fragger. Like, in the previous episode, I compared Twist to a simple type, where he can adapt to any role that you put him in, but his specialty is really just getting insane frags, and he just doesn't have that, I guess, experience. Yeah, he doesn't have that experience yet, that composure, I guess you could say, yet, because he is only, like, he just turned 17, compared to a guy like Autimatic, who I think Autimatic is, what, like 20-ish probably by now, 21,
Probably,
something like that.
Yeah.
So he's obviously got, 3 years maturity on him and 3 years more experience on Twist. So I think that Autimatic is definitely going to be I think, see, this is the thing with Cloud9. They have to think, do we want to win now or do we want to build for the future? And well, it's true because and we're going to talk about this a little later, but you know, the next major isn't for like 6 months or something. It's in January.
It's like January, right? Yeah.
So I mean, if they do pick up a Twist, they actually do have the time before the next major to really build a team with Twist and Stewie now. I mean, you'd have 2 guys that are only like 18, 17. And then obviously the rest,
it's definitely
nobody on that. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. You'd have to build it around them. It would definitely take time. Now, the play with Autimatic here is that you put him in the roster, and Stewie's already very, very good friends with Autimatic. and obviously he's an Asian piece of shit, right?
What the heck? You can't
Have you
say
not
that
seen
on a
that
talk
meme?
show.
Have you not
No.
seen that meme?
No,
Oh, it's
what
a
meme?
oh, okay, okay. Well, if anybody hasn't seen that meme, no, I'm not racist. Okay,
Yo, tweet at me. Tweet that meme at me,
I
fans.
will find the meme. It's basically, anyways. If you don't know the meme, just search Stewie2K calls Autimatic an Asian piece of shit. So, anyways, they're really good
Damn.
friends. So they're really
That's
good
good.
friends, right? And I think that Autimatic would fit in the team super super well because he's gonna be replacing Slemmy, right? And Slemmy
Hmm.
was already playing that like support role, not so much like an entry or anything like that. So Autimatic will play that strong rifler, strong support. He doesn't necessarily have to entry. They already have Stewie who can entry well, Shroud who can entry well. So you already have people who can entry for you, and Autimatic would fit in the team perfectly, and the chemistry's already there, and within probably, I mean, a month or two, he would really mesh well with the team, more so than a Twist who would take some developing, right? It would kind of like where Stewie was. If you pick up Twist, well, yeah, I'm probably going to take 4 or 5 months before Twist is really at an elite level of play. So that's kind of the strengths and weaknesses I see here. So it depends on Cloud9's play, I guess you could say. Like, are they building for the future, or are they going more for like immediate results? And I think they're probably going to go more for immediate results, and that's why it seems like they're looking to pick up
What do
Autimatic.
you think of the TSM brand as a whole? Like, where do they fit in the NA scene? I mean, like, I'm pretty new, so like, explain to me and like some of the people who don't know as much about them since they're not like the NA favorite.
What do I think about TSM? I mean, I don't know. It's tough to tell because if Autimatic leaves,
What?
that's. I think that TSM is kind of a confusing team right now
Hmm.
because they have Semphis of FNS who have been around for a while, and then you have Twist and Sick who are like both 17, and then you have Autimatic who's kind of in the middle who isn't super young, isn't super old, but hasn't been on any like great teams. He's been on some like decent teams, but never great teams.
Hmm.
So I think losing Autimatic would definitely hurt them, and I don't know who they would pick up to replace him. So I wanted to say another rumor real quick. This kind of builds off the TSM thing. Is Selfless has said that they are only going to have 3 players on their current roster like continuing
Wow.
to play with them. So that means that 2 guys are gonna leave. The obvious one that's gonna leave is probably gonna be Relics, who's the best player on that team right now, and he was rumored to go to Cloud9 as well. I think he'd be a great pickup for Cloud9. He's 23, he's got a lot of experience, and he's very very good. But he is a lurk, and they already have like nothing who can lurk. I mean, pretty much everybody on that team can lurk, but Relics is very much a dedicated lurk, so nothing would have to step up more as a support and entry role, which nothing does entry, but he also likes to lurk as well. So it's really down to nothing and what nothing wants to do. But I think Relics. So this is my theory right now. So if Autimatic leaves TSM for Cloud9, then TSM are obviously going to need a 5th. And I would guess that the best 5th that they could possibly pick up available right now would be Relics. So maybe
Hmm.
they throw Relics in there. This is all speculation, but I mean, I'm trying to see how all the pieces would fit for all these teams. It's hard to tell, but I think that Relics would be a decent fit in TSM, and I
Hmm.
think that he could actually fill a role better than Autimatic because he could be CSM doesn't really have that dedicated lurk which
Hmm.
Relics could be. So I mean it could work out great for both teams. Autimatic obviously goes to Cloud9, a pillar in the NA scene, right? And he could fit very well in there. And then TSM picks up Relics, who's a very good player and a dedicated lurk. So I think it could help both teams, but like I said, it's pure speculation. We really don't know what's going to happen at this point. We just know that there's probably going to be some type of move within the next week or two.
All right, I
Um,
look forward to it.
yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, there's not much more to talk about. As I said, it's
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
just pure speculation, and I don't want to dive into that rabbit hole much
What
further.
do you mean? We live off of
I
speculation.
know we live off speculation, right? This whole show
Hmm.
is just pure speculation, but I digress. I digress. So next up in the show is gonna be this is kind of like I guess a trending topic I guess recently because the Dota 2 International has been going on. But basically, does CS:GO need its own version of the International or the Global or basically a World Championship, right? Does CS:GO need this? I have my own thoughts on this, but I've been talking for a while. Tong, let's hear what you have to say. You start this one off.
Okay, so the international is a big deal. I think that it's interesting to see. I mean, again, this is also so much speculation. So let's go with the perfect world route, right? Valve steps in, says, "I'm gonna treat CS:GO not like the redheaded stepchild that it is currently. I'm gonna lavish it with love and care, and I'm throwing it that 10." Right.
Man.
Let's say right. But this is the perfect
We're
world,
like
okay?
it's kind of like the older brother, right? Where the older brother always gets forgotten because the new little kid comes along and the parents just forget about it, you know? You know what I'm talking about.
But don't worry, because we have really nice knives. That's
we have
what Valve
knives.
is giving us.
That's what matters. Skins equal wins, folks.
Skins equal wins. So the international is, I think, in my opinion, huge. Like, we just came off of betting sites closing. That hurts viewership for smaller tournaments. We're seeing, a lot of change in the teams, and we're seeing some comments like, I think it was Navi or maybe it was Fnatic. I think it was Fnatic. One of their players was like, you get to see Navi versus Fnatic like almost every other month, and that's not special anymore, So the Invitational not only elevates major status, but puts itself above that and then makes it this really big community gathering and community funded event to like promote not only good play, but the best play. Because I think we see a lot of teams struggle in normal majors and normal tournaments, and they fail to bring out their best, like it's just another major. It's just another major. We have like how many do we have last year? Like 4?
Well, I mean, it changes most of the time it's been 3, but obviously this year we're only gonna have 2. So I want some more consistency on that front too. I don't know why Valve is doing that, but yeah.
The cool thing is no, go ahead.
No, yeah, go on.
Okay. I think if you wanted to like extrapolate on the idea of a TI, and we could expound upon it a little bit later, but like it would be really cool to see Valve take a very proactive stance in the community. Like we've seen so much, or not seen, we've heard so much radio silence. We haven't, it's feeling a little neglected. We get here and there snippets, and we see a little bit of the effort come out. We get a new update, we get different sounds, but it's not always the things that we want. And Valve is very, very slow to communicate with us. So if they took the time to throw an international, not only would it bring the teams together, it'd bring Valve together with the community, and then maybe we'd be able to establish a line of communication. And then maybe eventually we can, bridge the gap to like fix other problems in the community. Now this is all just like way speculation, way off the international.
See, the problem with that theory there is that Valve would have to be proactive with the community, which have you met Valve? Have you seen Valve? That's not a thing they do.
Dude,
they don't
David's even my dad.
Like Valve literally, they don't talk to anybody.
No,
Whenever they need to
don't.
make a change, they just put like a post on the Steam forums, and it's like, oh guys, gambling's banned. It's like, what? Like, okay, I mean, I guess, but
Right.
I mean, yes, that'd be great, that'd be wonderful, but it's Valve. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I mean, I'm totally for a international. Now, the biggest argument opposed to it, against the international or like a world championship, would be that if you're a good team at the beginning of the year, that it doesn't matter because you're gonna be because the only thing that matters is the championship at the end of the year. But I have kind of an idea of what we could do to solve that. So I was kind of thinking about this, and I thought, this is the format that I would choose. So I would have 3 like championships a year. So one would be the international, and then 2 majors. So we keep 2 majors per year, and so we have 1 major in the spring, so like probably April, another one in July, August for a summer major, and then the world championship would be in like November or December at the end of the year. So it spreads them out evenly, nicely, and you get a large like major Valve sponsored tournament every 3 to 4 months pretty consistently. And it's all building up too. But you say, why would people care so much about the majors? So the majors would stay at the $1 million prize pool, or if Valve bumps up to 2, like in League of Legends, they have a $2 million for LCS. So that's different. But for now, we'll just say Valve keeps it a $1 million prize pool for each of the 2 majors. And then obviously the third one is just community raise money. And I would guess it's somewhere like $5-10 million around there. I don't know exactly how much, but basically the community donates and crowdfunds the major. So you have one huge championship at the end of the year. But the first 2, so how do you get people to want to even care about the first 2? Well, first of all, there's still $1 million prize pool, right? So people are going to care. So, but second of all, I think to gain legend status, right? Legend status is if you're at the top 8 at the previous major currently in the format. To gain legend status at the international, you would need to either make it to the semifinal of one of the first 2 majors, or make it to the quarterfinals of both. So it's not just that you make it at the second major to the quarterfinals and then you're automatically qualify for the international. No. If you want to automatically qualify for the international, you're going to have to either make it to the semifinals, so be a top 4 team in the world at one point in the year, or be a top 8 team in the world consistently, right, through a span of like 7 months. So that would be my solution for that. And so that would definitely make teams like, okay, we can't just say, screw the first major, we'll just send a team there that we don't really care about, and we'll just kind of work on our team for the second major and then get ready for the last one. It's like, well, no, because if you want a guaranteed spot, you're going to actually have to play well throughout the year. So that would kind of be my solution for it, and I think that would solve the problem that people were saying, like, oh, well, if you're a good team at the beginning of the year, it doesn't really matter, because if all that matters is the end of the year. So that was what I think. But I'm just really for a world championship because, I come from watching, like, I watch American sports, right? And in America, we have the Super Bowl for football.
In America, as if someone from another country is watching this, dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, even in soccer or football in Europe, they have the Champions League, right? Real Madrid, my team, they won. So they have the Champions League, right? So that's like once a year. So I think that a once a year, like, huge championship event would be a big deal, because then it's like it makes the prestige of it so much bigger. Because to me, it's winning a major is great, but I don't think winning a major necessarily makes you the best team in the world. It just makes you a very good team. Like, for example, had Liquid won this previous major over SK, I think that Liquid would definitely be a top 4, top 5 team in the world. But just because they had one good major run, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're like the best team in the world, So I think that if you have an actual like international, where it's also another benefit of it is that it spreads out. I think it probably over a week. Some said 2 weeks. That'd be great too. I mean, we'll see what happens, but at least over like maybe it starts on Monday and ends on Sunday, right? So it's like a full week instead of just Thursday through Sunday.
That'd be nice.
So then you play like twice as many games, which means you're gonna have to get twice as many wins if you want to win the one championship. So with all of that, it means that really the best teams make it through, which means if you win the international, you really are the best team in the world. So that's why, and we could get a best of 5 final, which I'm very much in favor for. I don't know.
Could you imagine though, like a 5 hours of having to play the same team? Like if it goes to 4-4 or 2-2,
well,
and then like.
No, because I mean the ESL Pro League finals used to be best of 5. I'm not sure if they are anymore. But
it's
I
just
remember
such a slog. Like you have to really sit through like 5 hours of gameplay. It's hard.
It's not 5 hours because you have to remember that not every game is like an hour long. Each game
but even with like, okay, let's just say you ran each game like maybe 45 minutes. You still have like 15 minutes of downtime. Everyone runs it because they have to show ads. They have to change.
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand.
It's a lot of time.
It is, but I think it'd be worth it. I really am in favor of a best of 5 final, just because I'm also in favor of the theory if we have, say, a 2-week tournament. Maybe we have the first 3 games on Saturday of the final weekend of the tournament, and then the last 2 games are played out on that Sunday. Because then, like, say one team is up 2-1, right? and then it's like a huge like dramatic conclusion on the Sunday of like, this is it, this is the final, like you have 2 games to win it all. I think that could be I mean, there's so many combinations that are possible here that are opened up when you have an international, and I think that it would just draw more attention to the sport, because a $1 million major is great, but if you look at like world like prize pools or whatever, you look at golf or tennis or whatever sport you look at, there's like, they have huge multi-million-dollar prize pools. So if we could draw like a $10 million prize pool, that would bring so much more press and media and popularity and attention to the championship as well, and to CSGO. I just think this is better overall, and it's more money in the players' pockets, right? I'm totally in favor of giving players more money. I wish esports players were paid as much as, like, say, professional athletes, right? I don't see why they wouldn't. It's just a matter of viewership, right? I'm really very much in favor. I think it'd be a really cool concept, and I don't understand why we haven't done this already, but maybe with Valve wanting to do this in January, maybe it's hinting at they're kind of setting up international. I don't know.
I don't know. That does sound kind of like wishful thinking, you know?
That's definitely wishful thinking, but
all right. Hey, yeah.
A man can only hope, you know?
A man, yeah. I mean, let's think about it, right? Like, what are the reasons that someone wouldn't? Like, okay, to set up an international, not only do they have to start putting in the same effort as they do into Dota, now they have to do it with CSGO. And from what we've seen of their dev team, I wouldn't put it to whoever's, deciding it and running it to do that kind of thing. Not only that, it's like, now you have to create committees. Now you have to hire more people. And they're making tons of money, but it just doesn't seem very Valve-esque to do it for CSGO. They don't have a track record. Now, they could surprise us, right? I'm not saying they can't. But
you have to think about it popularity-wise. So
I
agree. They double the amount of CSGO players because now we have a $10 million tournament every year. Well, that's huge amounts of money in Valve's pockets. I mean, the amount of money that Valve makes, I forget the exact numbers, but something like $800 million a year off of the tournament, off of CSGO. And so if they were to, say, even get a 10% gain in players just from this tournament, right, that would be an $80 million gain just from making this tournament. You make your money back right there. And they're not even putting up the $10 million prize pool themselves. It's crowdfunded. So I really think it's business-wise and benefit for the community, it's a great idea for Valve. I really think they should do it.
It just might not be what they're looking for, It might be against what their MO is right now, and I think there's something that you didn't consider when you were talking about like the one con. If we could revisit what the one downfall was, and it's not necessarily like that you didn't visit it, but I think it's a continuation of the idea that what was your con again? You said that the only downfall was
that you could be a good team at the beginning of the year, and it doesn't really matter if you're not good at the end of the year.
So somehow someone would have to say they'd have to make rules, right? With the recent E-League, they said SK was disqualified because as a brand they no longer were the same team. So the brand was disqualified, they got voted out, and then we saw VP win. And it would be interesting to see how Valve created the same rules at a Valve sponsored and ran tournament, because if you look at Dota, if you look at the micro or the macrocosm of team formation, I was reading a post about how it's very hectic. It's dependent on the 2 majors. There's 2 weeks beforehand, you have to lock in your schedule or your team. So everything up to that point doesn't matter. As soon as the teams lock in, they basically get 2 weeks of major practice together, and then they disband as soon as the major ends and start prepping for this second major. So instead of trying to go for that consistency, they go for peak performance at each major and then go on to the finals with, again, a third different iteration of a team. And it's not as applicable because...
you also have the 3/5 rule, which is, you have to have 3 of your 5 players from the previous roster in order to qualify for legend status at the next one. That's already in place. So if you get, only 2 players from your old roster, then you have to qualify again. So... I see what you're saying there, and this does happen in Dota, right? In Dota, typically in the month before the international, you see a lot of roster changes.
Oh, yes.
But we haven't really seen that before in CS:GO. It's not like
No.
in the 3 weeks before the major starts that all of a sudden teams start picking up guys left and right. I mean, it happens occasionally, but not really that often. I mean, I can't even remember the last time that a team made like a quick pickup right before the major. Only thing I can think is maybe
Zonic.
No, but that doesn't count. Maybe JDM, the whole JDM CLG thing, but that was not really a move for the major. That was just a move because I mean JDM wanted to leave CLG.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen a move where, like, specifically for the major that a team makes a huge roster change. So
yeah, and I think there's reasons why that we're so resilient to that. You know, like there's the very aspect.
Well, you also
of
think about it from the point of like chemistry, right? It's not like you can just say, "Oh, 3 weeks in, now we're good enough to win a major," right? I mean, you need like months and months of chemistry to get good. So
teamwork is such a prominent aspect, and we have teams that are already so good, so you're already trying to prep from the last time you lost to them. And so I think, like it's not such a big issue, but I'd be interested to see how it worked out, through the international.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's we'll have to see what happens, and obviously at the end of the day, it is up to Valve. But I think that it would definitely benefit the community, and hey, I just want to bring a more positive light to the idea of an international, so that if more and more people are saying it, well, maybe Valve will actually listen. Well, let's finish off the show and talk about predictions for the ESL Pro League Qualifiers real quick. So we got Virtus Pro versus Godsent first.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's a lot of controversy over this, and I talked about it last week when you weren't here. But basically, Virtus Pro not really deserving to be here, but hey,
by popular vote.
Yeah. So let's just talk about predictions. I mean, Virtus Pro pretty much on top of their game right now. They have struggled online, but I don't think they'll have any problems against Godsent. I think that it should be a pretty clean and cut victory for Virtus Pro here. I don't. I mean, do you differ in opinion? I don't think there's much to.
No. Here. I wanna throw caution to the wind, I guess. Like, I mean, to explain myself, I love Virtus Pro. After winning the E-League finals, Taz is a really stand-up guy. They've had a really long-standing team. They're just about everything that you want in a CS:GO team, but they've shown multiple times they don't deserve to be in the ESL Pro qualifier. They're here simply because of viewership.
It's completely true. But if you look at their performance right now, semifinals of a major, winning E-League, I really don't think that Godsent will be beating them here.
On land, though. So I'm going to say Godsent. Yeah, they have Pronax, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
You saying Godsent wins? No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say Virtus Pro shits the bed.
Okay. If Virtus Pro loses after all the shit that they've gone through to get to this point for E-League, all the bullshit that E-League's pulled, or not E-League, I'm sorry, ESL has pulled to get them here, and they lose, I think the higher up execs at ESL might just I don't even know. Anyways,
disqualify Godsent.
They would just be like, God damn, Virtus Pro, what the hell? They literally could not have given them more opportunities. But
exactly, I want to see it.
Anyways, it'd be crazy. I like the storyline for sure. But
we would have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we would have a lot to talk about. So let's talk about the North American qualifier. Echo Fox versus Luminosity. For those of you who don't know, Luminosity is ex-Winout. I talked about this at the end of the show last week, but basically it's an ESEA main team that got picked up by Luminosity from Brazil. Yeah, I mean, Echo Fox, I don't think there's much to say here. Echo Fox.
Fanboy.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even fanboy. It's a ESEA main team versus Echo Fox.
No, I know. I get it. Yeah. I can't say anything. I mean, Sean Gares with his beautiful face, and who else?
I don't even know that much about Luminosity, honestly, because I mean they're an ESEA main team. I'm not gonna say that I've watched their demos or anything. I haven't. But I mean, I'm sure they're a decent team, and I've heard a little bit about them. Actually, funny, you talk about Sean Garris. Sean Garris actually mentioned went out like a month ago and said, yeah, I think they'll get picked up by a big org soon. They're a pretty good team. So I'm sure they're decent.
I think that they're gonna get picked up, insider knowledge and all that.
Yeah, I'm sure he has insider knowledge. But I mean, I think Winnow is a good team. But definitely, they're not at the point where I think they would be beating Echo Fox.
No,
So,
I don't think so either.
Yeah. So.
Definitely Echo Fox.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the show today. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and let us know in the comments what you think about everything we talked about today.
Give us some ideas of what you want to see more,
Yes, and I've changed, instead of every Thursday, we've decided to change it to every Friday. You can thank Tongue for that.
Thank you so much, dude.
So we're going to change it to every Friday now. I think it just works a little better for schedule-wise. And, hey, maybe a lot of you guys will like it better. On a Friday night, you have more time to watch it than on a Thursday night, right? Because you have school or work the next day. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Subscribe for more. I will have a new video coming out on Sunday. Solo video. It's analysis. I think you guys will... I can give a sneak peek. It's hard to give it away without spoiling it. But it's a really... interesting video, really unique. Like, I've never seen any YouTuber do a video like this before. I'll just say that.
Okay, calm down there, Chaos.
No, I thought about it like a month ago, and I never actually did it. And I was like, I think it's a cool idea. Anyways, guys, I don't want to like pump it up that much, but anyways,
Chaos. What's the word for today?
What?
What's the word for today?
A word for today? Yeah, if you listened all the way through. You come up with one. I can't really think of one. What?
Trout.
Trout?
Trout.
The fish?
Yes.
Okay. All right, trout. If you watched all the way this long, comment trout. Oh, and as always, if I didn't mention this in the beginning, but there is a SoundCloud link in the description.
Fancy.
But you already watched the whole thing if you're here, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, let's end this. Okay. We'll see you guys later.